So before we get started, I want to try out this new lens that I got, and I will be putting this lens away for now. The lens you're looking at from this video is an f4 lens, which means that that light right there, which you guys can't see, is blinding me to get enough light to make this video that you guys are seeing. This is an f1.4. In other words, it can pretty much see in the dark. So let's go ahead and pop this thing on and see how well it looks like. And I want your guys' opinion. Which image do you prefer? Do you prefer this image or do you prefer this image? Let me know in the comment section below. So yes, the Pixel 4, the phone that everyone is either laughing at or everyone loves. There's almost no in between. You either love it or hate it. That's pretty much it. So this review isn't gonna be full in detail because this bad boy is still under embargo, but if you guys do want a full in detail kind of like in-depth review, definitely stick around. But this video I'm just gonna focus on some of the things that I do like about the phone just from the 2 days that I've been using it. Meanwhile, MKBHD has probably been using this phone for like 5 years now, so yeah. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. The forehead. Is it there? Yes. You can't miss it. But with all things, you kind of get used to it. After like 2 hours of using the device when I first got it, I kind of forgot that the forehead was even there. It kind of just blends in with the rest of the phone, to be honest. And yeah, same thing with the S10 Plus with its little pill cutout. That never really bothered me. You kind of just seem to forget it. Same thing with, where is it? Same thing with the iPhone, that notch. You kind of get used to it. And obviously the S10 Plus with its whole cutout. You kind of just start to get used to the things that are on the display, whether it be a hole cutout, a notch, a forehead, a chin, whatever it is, you kind of just seem to forget about it. So I think when people start to kind of, I don't want to say argue, but when people start to dismiss a phone just because it's not full screen, they're kind of missing the whole point. And to be quite honest, I would much rather have this than to have this. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But with that forehead comes great technology. It introduces a 3D face unlock which can't be fooled with a 2D photo, like for example the S10 Plus or the Note 10 Plus or really any other 2D kind of facial scanner that are in other phones. Now there is only one front-facing camera on the Pixel 4 and 4 XL as opposed to two front-facing cameras on the 3 and 3 XL. But the camera in the 4 XL kind of does it all. It's wide enough for a group shot, but also it's good enough for just a solo shot. You can just bring the phone closer to you and just take the picture. It's not obnoxiously wide, and your face doesn't really distort if you do bring the phone closer to you for more of a solo shot. So I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. Now aside from the camera, you do get a Soli radar chip, which right now I think is in its infancy stages. It will most likely get better with more features later on down the road, but for now it does kind of what it does. I mean, you can unlock the phone ridiculously fast. I mean, just check it out. And you can also skip songs and kind of dismiss alarms by just kind of swiping them away with your hand, kind of just doing that little motion. It's a nice little feature. I'm not sure how practical it is at the moment. Again, we'll just have to see what the future is gonna bring for Soli radar technology. Now, I can't comment on battery just yet because today is actually my first full charge, but at the moment my battery is at 75% and my screen on time is 1 hour and 46 minutes. That's not that bad. Keep in mind, this is the 4 XL model, so this is the Quad HD 90 Hertz. That's not bad. That's a pretty good screen on time for that amount of battery percentage. So and it's only gonna get better because adaptive battery is gonna start taking over soon, and it's gonna notice what apps I use more than other apps, and it's gonna kind of predict what I'm gonna be using, and it's gonna also save battery that way as well. So it's only gonna get better from here, and I'm pretty happy with the battery life so far. Why does that light keep blinking? I don't get it. Is it broken? What's wrong with you? Hey, don't do that. I could have sworn it was blinking and I was right. I thought I was going crazy, but there's a little screen right above the camera and it's still blinking. I don't get it. What's wrong? You are about to ruin my video and I don't appreciate that. What? Okay, well that sign just took a dump. Now Google also added 6 gigs of RAM to this phone and I'm super happy they did. In my opinion, I think the Pixel 3 should have had 6 gigs of RAM. But yeah, let's skip that. 6 gigs on this phone is plenty, okay? Is it 8 gigs like the Samsung? No. Is it 12 gigs like Samsung and OnePlus? No. It doesn't really need it. This phone isn't for those people that want to keep an app opened up like from 2 weeks ago. This phone with 6 gigs of RAM, Snapdragon 855, Android 10, latest and the greatest Android version, it's really smooth. Again, I can't comment too much about it at the moment. All I can say is that it's good, it's really good, and I think 6 gigs is plenty. Now here's something I don't really like about this phone, and it's not even particularly from me personally, but I'm just pretending if I was the average consumer looking for a phone, this would kind of really drag me down a little bit. 64 gigabytes just isn't enough. I don't care what anybody says, it's not enough. For those of you who like to download a ton of music like I do, a ton of videos, you want to download a lot of apps, you want to use a lot of apps, especially for you guys in Europe maybe, or in different parts of the world, if you guys use WhatsApp a lot, you know damn well how much space WhatsApp takes up in your phone if you want to keep every single chat, which is kind of like, of course you want to do that. You don't want to delete your chats. But WhatsApp does take up a lot of space. And with 64 gigs, if you have third-party apps, you'd have a lot of downloaded music, downloaded videos. It's not enough. And especially this year, Google took away the unlimited original quality storage for Pixel users. And that was like the only thing that made 64 gigs okay or acceptable. But they took it away and now I can't see really anyone getting 64 gigs. If they priced it at 700, like the iPhone 11, yeah, I'd be like, okay, it's an iPhone competitor. Let's put that in that. Okay, let's just leave it there. But for $100 more than the iPhone, I don't know. I just wish 128 gig was the base storage and 256 gig was the highest storage. That would have been, and they could have left that at the same price tag and people would have still been like, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm gonna look into it. So Google, next year, please, 128 gig base. Another thing I'm not a big fan of, and come on, you guys already know what it is. Let's say it together. No ultra wide. Now, the telephoto lens is fantastic. In fact, the images it takes is, wow. Like, it's good. It's really, really good. But where's the ultra wide, Google?
Cuckoo! Hi, cuckoo!
The guy on stage even admitted to saying how good or how fun an ultra wide lens is, but they think that a telephoto lens is more professional or more serious. I forgot the exact term they used, but they pretty much dismissed the ultra wide. See, that's the problem, and I'm gonna say this in the nicest, most professional way I can. Customers don't care what the company thinks. It should be the other way around. A company should care what the customers think, because at the end of the day, the customers are the ones that are gonna be buying the product. The customers wanted ultra wide. The square module is definitely large enough for an ultra wide. I mean, I think, I'm not like an engineer or anything, but I'm looking at it and yeah, it looks like I can get it. It's right there. Google, you could have done it. But other than those two things, the phone seems to be pretty fantastic. The screen's fantastic. The cameras are obviously fantastic. Except there's no ultra wide. Everything just kind of flows together. The Google ecosystem, I think, is almost as good as the Apple ecosystem, if I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not there yet, but it's definitely getting there. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. Again, I will make a more in-depth video following up with comparisons, camera comparisons, speed tests, whatever you guys can think of. I'm gonna do it except drop test and liquid water damage test and scratch test. I'm not doing that. I'm not up to that level yet. But again, the full review is coming very soon. This was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.